meaning you have to expand that thought, which is the imagination. This amazing place where we get to play. We get to play. This, by the way, all of these things that I'm sharing with you about you being the creator of your own life, not the victim. Victim is being set in stone in a limited belief on that same loop of my life can't get any better. This experience is not going to be getting any better. It's going to be what it is. That's the fact. That's a fixed mindset. Never going. If you don't believe it's going to happen, and we get into these patterns without knowing it, we're in a default set. I know I'm a live wire right now. I can feel it. And I just jumped right into this podcast. But because it is something I'm so passionate about, because I've seen it happen in my own life when I get stuck. I'm like, why am I stuck? I start becoming aware of my own thoughts. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to, is this going to be an episode? Or is this going to just be a 5-minute talk? My feeling is this will probably turn into an episode. But who knows, it could be one of these quick 5-minute chats, something I want to share with you about helping you start creating, using the power of your own thoughts, your own imagination to create, to manifest, to bring into existence the life that you envision. Now, it takes work, it takes practice. This isn't one of these, let me just imagine I'm going to have $1 million in a yacht and boom, it's going to be there. That's not even realistic, right? But the process, if indeed that is something you're like looking for, breaking down the why, you hear me talk about that all the time, but it is really using the power of your imagination to create anything. And let's just start right there, right? You wouldn't be looking at this phone or listening to this podcast or be where you're at, sitting in the chair you're sitting in, if someone didn't imagine that first. Creation comes from the imagination. It doesn't work the other way around. We have to have a thought. We have to have an imagination and explore it beyond our present feelings. If we feel, for example, a thought can be no greater than our feelings, we're stuck. We're going to be stuck in that feeling over and over and over and again. It'll be Groundhog's Day, and you're going to be living in that emotional state based on the same thought that you keep playing over and over and over in your head. Meaning you have to expand that thought, which is the imagination. This amazing place where we get to play. We get to play. This, by the way, all of these things that I'm sharing with you about you being the creator of your own life, not the victim. Victim is being set in stone in a limited belief on that same loop of my life can't get any better. This experience is not going to be getting any better. It's going to be what it is. That's the fact. That's a fixed mindset. If you don't believe it's going to happen, and we get into these patterns without knowing it, we're in a default set. I know I'm a live wire right now. I can feel it. And I just jumped right into this podcast. But because it is something I'm so passionate about, because I've seen it happen in my own life when I get stuck. I'm like, why am I stuck? I start becoming aware of my own thoughts. And then we get in ultimately to the imagination. But let's just start with these thoughts. Becoming aware and being conscious of our own unconscious thoughts, the things that we go, our routine that we get into, and just reflect a moment on what your day was like today. Did you wake up in this same pattern, this same routine, having the same cup of coffee, taking the kids to school, brushing my teeth, getting in the car, taking the same route, seeing the same people over and over and over. And we don't even realize it, but we just keep going on this pre-programmed, because we programmed it. You are, yes, indeed. Let me just say that again, because you are responsible for your thoughts. If you just acknowledge that for a moment, go, and you're probably this default goes, yeah, but my boss treats me like crap. Oh yeah, but I was sort of really, really, I don't know, a very aggressive parent. Yeah, but that's nice to say, Sean. But if you really understood my past, then you would understand that, I'm really stuck where I'm at. And I would sit with you patiently and as empathetically and as compassionately as possible. And I would say the same thing. How can you create something different? If it's something that you can already recognize, like, well, I'm this way because my dad was a perfectionist. I guess my life's not going to get any better. That's who I am. I'm that way because my parents, that's how it was. And you go, interesting. You feel like that's where you're at. That's where you feel you're stuck. Operative word, being stuck. Think about that. The power of just the belief systems, the patterns that we had learned growing up that now we've adopted, and we're not even aware that that's a limiting thought, a limiting belief. Well, you're never going to get any higher in the company. You're not going to be any better than that. Your sister's a lot better than you. So why don't you just stick to what you know? Oh, those things drive me crazy, by the way. Absolutely crazy. Let me do something. Let me grab my mic because I got so excited about this podcast. I'm just going to plug in my mic because it might sound a little better. So bear with me. A little fuzzy mic. Because hopefully this will sound a little better. You get it? You with me? Are you with me on this? The power of our thoughts create our state of being. You are the author of your life. If you don't believe that, you're ultimate right there. You're a victim. You're a victim to the thoughts, the limited beliefs, the things that you hold yourself just in these tiny boxes of thoughts. But we also listen. Let's be realistic. But knowing that, look, we have the power to change our current state, our current circumstances. I can tell you this as an actor, right? My whole life, I've trained this for 30 years. The power of a thought that I have to use to create an experience and literally embody myself in another character in another experience. And I have to believe that. I have to believe it in my mind and have the thoughts that elicit the feelings, that trigger the behavior. The behavior produces an experience, and that experience creates a state of being, an emotional state based on the thought. And if that thought shifts, for example, I'll do a take with that thought. I've done my homework. This is the experience. And I played sociopaths, which is not my life at all. But I have to get into the mindset of how this guy thinks, breathes, moves, gets dressed, brushes his teeth, all of that. How does he think? How does that person think? And I have to embody that character to create this state and feel and move like this person. You have that power. Now, I'm not saying go be an actor by any means. Trust me, it's a crazy road. But what I am saying is you have the power to create your own circumstances. You do, based on the thoughts that you choose. We have 60 to 90 thoughts in a given day. Pick one. Pick one. In fact, I would even suggest this. Pick 4. I'll give you a little exercise. Pick 4 thoughts that you want to stick to in a given day. Write them down so you see them. They're just in your presence. Put them as a sticky note right on your forehead or wherever you want to put it. Maybe not your forehead, you won't see it. But you understand what I'm saying. 4 thoughts that I want to have throughout this day. You're intentional. A thought is an intention, right? You're intending to produce a state of being, experience that you're looking for. What am I looking for? Joy. I want peace. I want happiness. I want enthusiasm. I want peace. If you're intentional about that with that thought, write it down. I want to experience peace today. Find 3 others. Write them down. And as throughout your day, check in. Am I thinking that thought? Now, you're not going to be able to think about it 24/7. You have a life. I have a life. We have to drive. We have to focus on the road. But what you're doing, you're starting to train your brain that you are in charge. Not your body, not the default system that we went through the routine of going into. You're like, no. I'm controlling my mind today. I'm in charge. That's the way things are going to go today. Why? Because I am a creator of my life, my internal world. That's where it starts. Because all the excuses, I was kind of talking about my past and this experience and my job sucks and these people are so mean and cruel. Don't allow them into your life, into your internal world. Yes, we may have to work with them. And yeah, we may have some family members that we may not be on the same page with. But you don't have to let them into your internal world. That's yours. That internal space is yours. As long as you protect it. You protect your thoughts. You become intentional with your thought. You're not reacting to your life. You're now creating your life. You see that? If you understand the thoughts that you want to have at a given day, you become the creator of your life. Now back to your 4 straight thoughts that you want to have. Not straight, but 4 thoughts in a given day. Your day's not going to go as planned, right? It's just not going to happen as planned. But it is a compass, an alignment of what you're working for, what you want to create. And if you believe that everything happens for you, not to you, then each experience you encounter will bring you closer to the vision that you imagine, that vision of the future. Because you're creating it constantly. You're not living in the memories of the past. You're not living in the pre-programmed memories, experiences. You're like, no, I want to create something new every day and get in the habit of that. Get in the habit of that mindset. Wake up. I am the creator of my day. What do I want to create today? I want to be productive today. Let's say that's what you want. What do I need to do to be productive? Lay that out. And you'll know when you're not in alignment with that experience you are trying to create. It's no different than a scene. As I was explaining, so if I do a scene a particular way, I run with these certain thoughts, director or writer, somebody goes, cool take or whatever, they may go, I don't like anything you did right there. And by the way, that could happen. Like literally based on my thoughts and my experience, this is how I see a moment that I'm going to create on screen or an experience that I even, before I go into a meeting or I have a conversation on the phone. I'm intentional. What do I want to create? What am I hoping to get out of this conversation? What am I hoping to create out of this moment? It comes organically from the gifts, the experiences that you have, and listening to that inner voice. So that's how I'll start to create. What are my instincts? What are the thoughts and feelings, the intuition that I have? Let me create with that. And that way I'm not trying to please anybody. I'm not trying to be everything to everybody. I've been through that. Trust me, it doesn't work. It does not work. That is a road of that lost puppy trying to people please and trying to be everything to everybody because why? I want to be liked. I want to be accepted. I want to fit in. And you've heard me talk about that. Don't fit in. There's no need to fit in anywhere. Do you want to belong? That's different. Belonging is bringing your authentic self into the moment. Fitting in is sacrificing your authentic self to be and please somebody else. Avoid that. Avoid that. No need to please anybody. Be kind, loving, generous with your creativity. That's different, right? That's different. But let me step back just a little bit so we grasp this idea of choosing a thought to create an experience, an emotional state of being. That pick a thought, elicit a feeling. That feeling triggers a behavior. That behavior produces an experience. And that experience, again, is the emotional state of being. And if your goal is to be authentic, you will do, say, think, walk, talk, breathe, brush your teeth with that intention. But you are the master of the moment. You are the master of your future. If your thought creates your destiny, if you believe that, you're on a way to creating a destiny that you envision, that you imagine. And practice this. right? Again, things will not go as planned every step of the way. They're going to get off the rails. And for example, this, as I was saying in a particular scene, if a director or writer wants to give me a note, another thought, I'm like, cool, I'm open. Let's have it. Let's hear it. And I get excited about it. I'm going to get into that in a second, if I'm not already excited enough. But I'm like, great, I didn't think of it that way. Let me use that thought and see what happens inside of me. What about doing that in your own life? Let me choose a different thought and see what happens inside of me. Be in tune with the feelings, the sensations, the emotions. And, we will have to put language to this and gain some emotional intelligence as we go on, right? Because you may be, for example, an experience or encounter, you may be mildly annoyed, you may be frustrated, you may have elevated aggression, you may feel anger now, and just if we're up in the ante, you may feel hatred, right? That's it. But we just say, well, I'm mad. We want to get specific with the language and identify that emotional state. So now we can actually broaden our palette of possibilities of the emotions, the emotional state that we want to create. This is the same for goals, for productivity, for passion, for purpose, potential. And you know me, I'm all about that. That's exactly why I'm doing this, to expand your potential. And when you're living your purpose, your world's better, the world around you is better. And if you're doing it with your passion, with the thing that you love, you are on fire. Your life will be, and I say this, I mean on fire, and by on fire, I mean alive. Because you're intentional. You're purposeful with everything you're doing, the life that you are creating. So as I talk about this, and let me just get into the fun part. This part, the idea that you believe you're the creator, is fun. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. It could be exhausting, but if you see that exhaustion is that effort, see that difference of that? Like after a workout, or after I've had a really meaty conversation with a person or a client, or I'm speaking publicly, and it's been just, I could be exhausted. But man, does that feel good. See the difference in the way I experience exhaustion? I put it all on the floor. Whether I'm playing sports or basketball or working out or just committing to studying. My brain, like a lot of times, if I'm studying and reading and listening to podcasts and all, I get it mentally exhausted. There is a moment that we all have, but there's definitely strategies that we can do to just give ourselves a 5 or 15-minute break, because we're not meant to just cram information. Trust me. Anybody pull an all-nighter on studying, college, or any exam or presentation, counterproductive. But remind yourself, especially when the pain is involved. We're not growing if we're not experiencing pain. We've got to get out of that comfort zone. We have to. It's essential. The same thing leads to what? The same thing. It is the same thoughts, create the same feelings, create the same behaviors, of course, which produce the same experiences. And now you're creating the same emotional state that you are already going, oh my gosh, I don't like this. But we're not aware of it. That's what I want you to be. I want you to take away from here. Like you are becoming aware of the thoughts and intentional about what those thoughts will be. And even the heartache, what am I going to do with this? What can I create from this? Because life is happening for me. 100%, baby. Life is happening for me. Repeat that. When you're down in the dumps and you're beating yourself up mentally, it's not happening to you. Flip the script. It's happening for you. Why? There is a reason behind it. Grasp that. Be curious about it. And have some joy in the process. Because when you're creating, and we're going back to that childlike wonder, we're going back into that space, it's fun. We fall. We make mistakes. We fail. Please fail. Can I just ask you this? Do this one thing for me. Fail. Then grow. Do not be afraid to fail. You have to go out there and take these opportunities. I say chances, I call them opportunities. Everything is that opportunity. And this right here is an opportunity to create something better for yourself and enjoy that process, even through the sweat, the tears, the blood, sweat, tears. You've heard it 1,000 times. But you're in the game. You're alive. You're in the arena. God, I'm sure so many of you might have heard Man in the Arena. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt. A dear buddy gave this to me years ago when he was in med school. And I didn't get it, but he got it because he was working his butt off in college, and I was doing way too many other things in college that I probably won't talk about here. But I can share this. I've learned and grown from each and every one of those experiences. Each and every one. So it doesn't feel like a regret. It feels like growth. And why is that? Because I say so. I choose to, like regret could take you down a rabbit hole of despair. And I've made some regretful choices in my life. But I know what that has taught me. So it now empowers me to be a better human being. 100%. I will make mistakes tomorrow. Things will happen. Life is not going to be perfect. But I will take that disappointment. I will take that regret. I will take that fear 100 times over before sitting still, doing nothing. Nothing. I can't do it. I can't do it because I know the result. It's like I was saying. It's the same thing. I don't want the same, and I don't want the same for you. And even if you're in an amazing relationship, by the way, you're like, oh, I'm in love, and we love each other, and we're in that honeymoon phase, and that's fantastic. Think about all the chemicals that are being generated in your body because you are producing them. And I mean the internal chemicals. None of this crap that we take from the outside. It's the internal stuff. It's the dopamine, the oxytocin that is kicking off in your brain that makes you feel alive because you're creating something new. Oh, I get amped about it. I really do, because I want this. When I see somebody who's just down and out, and I've been there and I get it, and many of you might be in that state right now, but I'm encouraging you to go, I do have the power to create this state of being, because I don't want it. I've seen it happen for myself. I've seen it happen for clients. I've seen it happen in a room when I'm speaking. Just that shift of believing you are the creator of your life, not the victim. So victimhood is all about, well, it's the outside world that is impacting my internal world. Then give them the keys. Give them the pen, let them write your life. Go ahead. If the outside world really impacts you to that degree, aren't you sick of allowing the outside world to impact you that way? Start writing your own script. And I'm not saying get rid of the people in your life. That's a huge leap. I'm talking about the toxic experiences, the toxic environment that you may feel like you're in. Change it. It starts with changing your inner environment. It's been proven time and time again. Research has shown people who have awful childhood experiences, poor socioeconomic conditions, have managed to get out. Why? How did some get out and how did some not get out? How? Not everyone's stuck there. But let's learn from those who did get out. You hear it, Oprah, amazing story. Oh my gosh, talk about turning it around. You have that power to create that kind of life. You do. Why limit yourself to anything less? Remind yourself you're going to have to take the actions to do what she's done, and people like her. You got to do the work. But it starts with a thought that you have. You have it. And if you're doubting what I'm saying right now, use that mantra. I have it. And I'm curious about finding it and experiencing it, exploring it, and sharing it. Because you have a gift to share with the world. This is what gets me going. And we get stuck, and I'm like, yeah, but we're stuck in the thoughts of the past and the pain of the past. And you have all these amazing gifts and all these amazing talents that you're letting pass you by each and every day you stay stuck. Try something new each day. Internally, just try the new thought. I'm not saying go bungee jumping. I'm saying just try to shift your thought, to start changing how you feel, because that's you're starting to change your own personality. Your own personality change will give you the change in your personal reality. Why? Because you said so. Not me, not this podcast, not anything. I'm sure you're getting tons of wisdom from tons of people, and don't ever stop. Keep exploring. But that's because you chose to create this moment of gaining more insight, more wisdom, deeper understanding, more passion, more purpose, more potential for yourself. Create it today, right now. Don't wait. That's where we have regrets. And you got to turn that around. And if you're stuck in that regret mode, that guilt mode, that fear mode, that doubt mode, chances are that's exactly where you should be looking. Why am I so scared? What am I regretting? Why am I so regretful about that? And if you just break that down for a second, right? Because I've been there, right? You go, oh my God, I made some awful choices in my life. And what did I do? What was I thinking? And I go, why? Okay, that feeling, I don't like that feeling. I don't. So now it's up to me. It's up to you to go, what am I going to do differently today than I did yesterday? Based on the emotional state I'm looking to create. You're becoming the creator of your future. Understand? Not the other way around. Not the cause and effect. Life hits me with a black eye, so now my life is this. Life may get you in, take one on the chin for sure. But it's going to give me this, something better. And if you keep that in mind with each and every experience you encounter, and you attach that kind of meaning to it, that purposeful intention of growing and giving and learning, that's when we're most alive, right? We want to feel, we got plenty of human needs. Some people want to feel secure. Some people love variety and uncertainty. Some people need to feel significant. I'm getting these from my mentors, by the way, right? Some people need that. Some people need connections. But I'm telling you, in the end, the two biggest human needs are growing and giving. And you can tell when that's happening inside of you, your world is a better place. Just giving. Because it takes that very act itself, gets you out of your head and just give. Give some joy. Give a smile. Give some love. And do a little random act of creativity. And I'll give you one little exercise before I go on this random activity, because I'm just in the zone on this. But try this, right? I want you to. I got this great little book about trust your crazy ideas, and of course I'm in that zone right now. But try this. This is so amazing, and I love it. I don't know the author who wrote this, but I don't think there is. It's just a bunch of random, beautiful, creative thoughts. But the idea is like, try this. Make a piece of art, something that's inspiring, something that's encouraging, motivating. Could be a poem, a painting, a sculpture. It could be a note, anything. There's something that's created from you. Let it be encouraging and inspiring, right? And you leave it anonymously somewhere, anywhere, park bench, somewhere, anywhere. But take this creation that you put, that it's meant to encourage, it's meant to inspire, it's meant to give, and just leave it somewhere randomly. And make sure that you are creating something good that could happen to another person. Think about what you want that to be. What is the emotional state that you're hoping to give someone else with this creation? Right? Like this, like right here. I'm just hoping that you feel alive with a sense of passion, purpose, and potential. That's what I'm hoping to create here. Do that with your creation. And keep that in mind. Think about what their life is like. Think about what their life is like. How their day is going. What kind of situation are they in? How this might help them move forward. And don't worry about the result. You're just giving. You're just putting it out into the world. And it's opening your heart and opening your mind. And I know we talked about that being synchronous and being coherent, vibrating at the same energy. It just feels good. Go out there and create experiences that give you the state of mind and this emotional state of being that you want. And with that, let me just leave you with this. Go out there and create a life that makes you feel alive with a true sense of passion, meaningful purpose. Get out there and do it. You have it. You have the gift. Share it. Live it. Experience it for yourself, because that's where it starts, with the self. We can't give something that's not really filling us up emotionally. Give yourself that emotional charge. And start with a thought.